Hi and welcome. I'm John and this is Unique Wargaming Terrain. Guys, welcome back. This is the weekly Wednesday Wargaming questions and answers. This is off the cuff video, guys. So everyone that's new, I record and upload. There is no fancy editing skills. There is an intro symbol at the beginning. I do have a transition button. So if I'm recording and it starts raining heavy or there's some sort of silly noise from outside, I can wait for that to go and then carry on. But apart from that, if something happens, if I say the wrong thing or something happens whilst I'm filming, that's it. That's what it is. So for all my regulars here, guys, I would love, thank you very much. So for all the new people, what are the weekly Wednesdays about? Well, essentially, the weekly Wednesdays are, you guys ask me questions, I answer them. Now, it's primarily model focused, and it's primarily 99.9% of the time GW stuff. If I find useful items that we can use, like it's always in front of me, a bathroom rack, you know, that goes in on the bath where you put your soap and everything else, you know, they're very handy for us to use for storage of stuff. There's actually one behind me in the middle there, underneath the picture of the One Ring. Again, this has got my paint handle and sanding sponges and all that sort of stuff on it. And then I find these things, I'll let you guys know, or if I see them, I go, oh, actually that'd be good for, I'll let you guys know. Sometimes from time to time there are terrain questions that come into the weekly Wednesdays, and sometimes it's questions about myself and what's going on around the workshop, general information. So before I start, I want to say a big massive thank you to everyone that's joined the channel. We've just gone over 400 subscribers, which is absolutely fantastic. Thank you guys and welcome. To remind you all, I'm still doing commission let's builds, commission painting and commission terrain. What does that mean? If you want let's builds, you want something built, model kit, chuck me a message. We'll work out how much it's going to cost and blah 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 blah, or you send me X this and that and I'll build it for you, no problem. Again, with the painting, if you want something painted up to tabletop ready, no problem. If you want it painted up to finished, again, no problem. If you want it painted to a certain point where then you take over and you wash it and you do your dry brushing and all, again, that's fine. If you want a certain terrain built, give me a shout. That's still on the cards, that's not a problem. Right. What's the black spray you used on Monday's painting video? This black spray, this is the one I normally get, okay? But this is a grey one, but I usually get the matte black one. Perfect, that's perfect. Here's an example of something sprayed in that black spray. Absolutely perfect. And it's €2 a tin, so it's fantastic. They haven't got any in the shop that I get them from. All they've got is black gloss, which no. So I'll try some of this. It's called Hammer Metal Paint Smooth Matte Black. I used it on the one of the terrain pieces and it was fine. It sprayed out a little bit weird, but it was fine. Now, as I showed you guys the other day, there's a nid for it, so I can't even take this off and change it with a different spray thing. It's when I sprayed the Space Marines, the aggressors, they went on fine as normal. And I was like, great, fantastic. I went off and done bits and pieces. I came back like 2 hours later, and they just looked ash grey. And I was like, what the hell's going on here? And it looked like the same way how a shade runs into the recesses, and that's what it looked like. And I was like, what the hell's going on here? So I said, right, look, I'm going to have to try and salvage this with Grey Seer, because it's the only spray that I have here that I could use, that I feel comfortable using them. So then I just went, okay, so I gave it a spray of Grey Seer. And those of you who haven't seen that video, you'll see right at the beginning the difficulty that I had, because it was like the black spray didn't melt the plastic or nothing like that. It sort of just had bubbles on it, and it just sat there and dried with bubbles on it. It's really weird. So when I put the grey sear on top, they picked up half of those bubbles, and you could see half of those bubbles through. I mean, I believe, and chuck comment below if you agree or disagree, but I believe I rescued those models okay. There could be a date in the future where I just come along and just strip them down and just start again with them. I don't know. But I've actually, because I found that the grey sear over the black, well, it wasn't black, but the grey sear on the Space Marine, because of my chapter colours, was actually easier to put the Screaming Skull on. So what I've done is I've grey seared half of a Marine. Okay, well, I say half, a bit more than half than I wanted to, just to test painting that with the Screaming Skull. Because if that's a quicker, easier way of doing it, then I'll be on that. But with that said, I'm looking at new contrast paints. I haven't seen the whole range of them or anything like that, but I want to see if I can pick one up that's as close to Screaming Skull as possible, because then I could try that on there and then just come over to Screaming Skull and just give it like a gentle highlight with Screaming Skull. I don't know, but that's what the problem was. That spray was the problem. Now, as I said, the shop I normally get through from doesn't have any, so I'm probably going to have to go to GW, which is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It just means I lose a day for doing filming and stuff, which is a pain in the backside. But you know, these things have to happen. You have to do these things. And I was actually thinking, when I'm back to work full time, I get my 2 days off in the week, I'm going to have to probably use one of those days every couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks, to go to the model shop and pick up X, Y, Z. So it's not, because yes, I am due back to work from the 9th of August. I was hoping that the channel would hit, the target would hit, so that YouTube would then pay me for the content. So I would have to go back to that place. But look, you know, it is what it is. I might try and get a transfer to a closer store, which would be great, but it's not always, they don't always work out the way that it should on paper. But anyway, that is the problem with this, that last Monday's Paint videos. Again, chuck comment below, let me know if you think I rescued it pretty good, or if it was okay, or if I should just strip them down and start them again. If I do strip them down and start them again, it won't be for a month or two. I've got so much here to clear. I actually have over 2,000 points that I stripped the few days before I primed them of old lead models. I mean, absolutely insane. From Eldari to Chaos Space Marines to normal Space Marines. And I need to take those now and start super gluing them to bases and together and everything else. And then glue them to 25mm bases, because most of them have the slot at the bottom that goes into the slot base. And then from there, glue them, their 25mm base, onto a 32 or a 40mm base, or whatever size they're meant to be on. With the exception of Eldari, because I think some of them are on 28.3 or whatever it is, 28.5. 25mm and 28mm. There's only 3mm difference. It's not the end of the world. So they might just stay on those. I'm not sure yet. But anyway, I'm waffling on. I do apologise. Why in your battle reports do you guys only use Space Marines and Necrons? There's a few good reasons for this. And I did talk about it in the battle report, but in the battle report I was trying to just be quick with my answer, because I didn't want to try not to have the battle report as long as it was 2 hours long. So but it's a good battle report, guys. Check it out if you haven't checked it out. Say you're new into the game, into 40k 9th edition, you buy yourself an Indominus box. You've got Space Marines and Necrons, so you've got to put them together. You're going to start painting them and everything else. But then you're looking at battle reports on channels where they've got, you know, Land Raiders and, you know, Necron, the Silent King, and this model and that model and blah blah. And as a person that's new to the game, you can look and go, oh, that's a bit intimidating. Not so much, you know, to paint that, but you look at the model, you go, that looks hard to build. Then you start looking at, like, you're still learning the rules, so the rules start getting a bit complicated for those particular models. Then you start looking at the cost of it and go, oh, that's a bit too much for me. I've only just started. I'm not both feet in yet. So me and Alex were talking about it, and you know, he actually one said to me, well, look, if you were just doing this, you would be adding small units and adding, you stay with what you have to start with, and you'll be adding more stuff to it as it grows and grows. And we both, you know, we both agreed. So that's why we're using those for the minute, and just adding more and more units to it, to, you know, just to help you new players. That's one reason. And also Alex is new to the game himself, so for him to be using the same sort of models game after game, he's picking up their abilities and what they can do and they can't do. The last game, for example, he brought the Terminators in on teleported them in, and he knew when he reached combat with them, he knew that he was at -1 to hit because of the power fists. Yeah, so he's already picking those things up. In the same game as well, the Dreadnought was shooting your sub cannon, and he was already picking up that the rules for that sub cannon is the same rules for the Terminator sub cannon. Okay, so that's one reason. You know, there's two parts to that one reason, but that's one reason. The second reason is I don't have enough models of other factions painted up ready to play a game. Now, I don't want to go and buy the codex for, say, Chaos Space Marines when I only have maybe 600 points of Chaos Space Marines here. Not painted, but just here. I think I have more than that, because I've got the 5 Chosen, I've got the Hellbrute, and I've got the Forge Fiend. I've got all the other stuff to paint up, but again, that's what I'm saying, they're not painted up. I don't want to go and get the codex and to have at least 1,000 points, or roughly 1,000 points, get the codex and go, oh, I've got 930 points, I need to get another unit. And then I go and buy another unit, clean glue that, let's build whatever, and then paint it up. And that's ready, then 1,000 points. It's not, excuse me, it's not a big selection that I have for that 1,000 points, but I can then build on that. So that's the two reasons. One of them is 2 parts, but that's the other reason for the other one. I do plan on having the demons up and running and ready for when the codex drops. I say that it's roughly, what is it, 2 to 7 weeks or something, somewhere in that sort of time scale. I've got a lot to do, but I need black spray. I need to get some contrast paint, because I want to contrast paint certain models a certain way. I've got 5 Seekers down here done. Just need to put the things still on them. I've got other unit of Seekers that I'm actually putting together that says you can go part of this unit. I'm doing that off camera. I still have another 10 Seekers after that to do off camera. I've got Demonettes down here, Bloodletters down here, Horrors down here. Can't even remember what else is in that box. I think there's more Seekers in that box. That's what I've got down here. Now there's enough down here on my pile of shame to probably make, I would say, pretty much close to 1,000 points. By the time I throw a HQ in there, I would say there's easy 1,000 points. So my aim is to get them up and done and ready before the codex drops. But I need black spray, I need to get a few contrast colours. Again, I need to go to Dublin. I say, some people go, I'll just go there. It's an hour and 20 minutes or so on the bus. Bus is back every half hour, but it's an hour and 20 minutes on the bus. You know, it's not something you can just jump on the bus in 10 minutes, you're there, or, you know, I go early morning, I'm back by, 1 o'clock ish, but it is a knackering day and is. But anyway, sorry, for everyone that's new, I do ramble on sometimes. I do apologise. Some people enjoy it, some people don't. I do apologise. The Rangers, the Skitarii Rangers, this isn't a question, this is what someone informed me, is the other parts in the kit are the Stern Guard, I think the comment was. I can't remember enough off my head, but it's basically they're 2 model kits in one box. Okay, So that's the same as the forge screens. When you buy the box of the forge screens, you get the not the Hellbrute, the forge screen or the forge mauler. What is it called? Mauler fiend. Yeah, so you get 2 models in one kit, but all the parts make 1 model. So that's basically why the extra heads with the Scutari and everything else. But again, those parts are very similar to kit bashing, which leads me to my next question. I've been looking at some of your videos, Let's Builds. I enjoy your kit bashing videos. Are you going to be doing any more? I have a few ideas for kit bashing. But again, the problem I have, there are so many jobs to do here off camera. It just eats a lot of time away. I've got a 6-year-old as well, so, and the wife works evenings, so it's trying to get stuff done in the morning. The wife's working, she goes to work, it's me and little one, and then still trying to do stuff in and around the house and the garden, and you know, there's a lot of stuff to do away from here, but then there's a lot of stuff to do here off camera. So I do have a few kit bashes planned, but do I film a kit bash, or do I film a Let's Build video and start clearing stuff from the Imperial magazine or from my pile of shame and get more stuff for you guys to vote on, to paint and everything else? You know, it's a hard thing to do. Now, with that said, last week's voting, only 1 person voted. Now I'm taking it either 2 ways. You know, both of them are good, doesn't matter. 1, people forgot to vote, which, you know, it happens. Or 2, the models I have here, people don't want to see them voted, don't see them painted. Or they do want to see them painted, but they're just not, they're not fussed to see them ones. So this week's vote, guys, please vote on what you want to see painted. But bear in mind, I don't have any black spray. I need to get some of those before the weekend. And the next 3 days is going to be very hectic for me. So please vote. I will get some black spray, and I will be working away on these models. And we'll bring down show you models to vote on, and then tell you the rules for voting for everyone that's new. Right, so we have 3 Blood Crushers. Okay, I've done a Let's Build on them not so long ago. Amazing models. 5 Necron Immortals and a little spider. 5 Necron Immortals there. I have the Luminas, whatever his name is. There's a Chaos Lord from 7th edition box, game of 40k. And surprisingly, there's a lot of detail on this model for it being 7th edition. But there's 3 Blade Guard veterans. Again, I know people are not big fans of watching Space Marines painted because everyone does their own colours. There's 3 Eradicators. There's an assortment of Space Marine heroes. There's an Ancient, a Judicara his name is, and 2 Captains, I do believe. One with the shield and one with the plasma pistol and the power sword. We have the Scutari Rangers, which I done Let's Build on, what was it, Saturday or Sunday or something like that. We have these Chaos Chosen. Again, I did painting video on Chaos Chosen not so long ago, which was the ones from the Eldridge Omens box. So these ones are from 7th edition box at 40k. I have the Seekers. I have the Cultists. That shows you how busy I am. There's 2 Cultists there that needs to be put into this 25mm base. I haven't even had time to do that. That's how busy I've been. And there's a Wildcard. Now, what is the Wildcard? You'll find out if you vote for it. Now, the way the voting works for everyone that's new, because there's a lot of new people that join the channel, you chuck a comment below and say to me, you have a vote. You know, I vote for the Seekers, or I vote for the Chaos Cultists, or I vote for Illuminar guy, or the big Necron guy, as he keeps being called. Because no one can pronounce his name, no one can spell his name properly, because it's one of those made up Games Workshop names that just, you can't say unless you hear someone else saying it. And they can only say it because they've heard someone else saying it. Yeah, just comment below which one you want to see painted. If you're not sure what it's called, then just give a brief description, like the big Necron guy, or, you know, or something like that. Voting comes in. I stopped the voting at 12 o'clock on Friday midday. The reason for this is then I know what I'm going to paint, And if I need to do any prep work for it, like as you can see, most of them are not sprayed undercoat black, because if they're undercoat black, it's harder for you to see on the camera the way it's going, the way they look like down here. A lot of them need to be gravelled and stuff. Yeah, so then I can actually start that process and get them ready for Monday's painting video. My aim is to have Sunday morning start doing base work on them, and then finish on Monday, so then it frees me up Monday. Typically when you little ones in school, I don't spend the whole morning doing that. Yeah, it frees me up to do other bits. Even if I look at the phone at 1 o'clock on a Friday and log into YouTube and go, okay, the voting is, because it's easier to look at the YouTube on your phone than it is on the laptop or on, you know, the computer or anything like that. It's a lot easier. So even if I look at it at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and you voted, just as soon as I look at it around that sort of time, if your vote's on there, it'll count. In the event of more than one model or unit of models being voted on by different people, or the same 2 or 3 things having the same number of votes, I say, then I do the D6 roll off. Okay, I've done that. I've had to do that before. If you have any questions for me, guys, yeah, most of you know this already, but for everyone that's new, any questions for me, just comment below on this video. Okay, please comment. You know, even if you think it's a silly question, it doesn't matter. You know, we all started somewhere. If you do feel embarrassed and you can't, you don't want people mocking you, or you feel that people are going to, a community is not like that, but if you think, oh, I feel a bit embarrassed asking this, go to Unique Wargaming Terrain Facebook page. There is a messenger button on there. You can click on that and you can message me via Messenger directly. It's not a problem. And, you know, I won't, you know, oh, this person said this, you know, message me that way. I keep it quiet and say, okay, this is what I was asked. With that said, I actually want to say a big shout to Ken of the West. He left a comment on the Blast Creators Terrain build. Go and look at that comment, check the video if you haven't done so already, and gave me 2 amazing ideas for something else, which will probably be in the next week or 2. So thank you, brother. That's absolutely fantastic. That goes on to all the other little ideas I have, which is, you know, fantastic. Thank you very much. So guys, thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, turn your notifications, and I hope those questions I've answered has helped you guys out. Again, if you have any questions, just, you know, send it the normal way. Until next time, guys, take it easy.